unit, and I'll be discussing our murders numbers 25, I'm sorry, yes, 25 and 26, which occurred last week. So last Thursday on September 8th, 2016, at approximately 5 p.m., Austin police officers were dispatched to the 12400 block of Ranch Road 620 North in Williamson County in reference to a check welfare. Upon arrival, the officers met with the complainants, who directed the officers to a tent in the wooded area at that location. Officers discovered two bodies. Neither of those persons were alive. At the time, the officers were unable to determine if there was any trauma on the bodies. That was not discovered until the following morning when the Travis County Medical Examiner's Office conducted the autopsy. As you're aware, the results of that autopsy were the manner of death were, on both cases, homicides. We're still working this investigation. It's ongoing, it's active. We do not have any suspect information at the time. We don't have a motive yet at this time either. So what we are asking citizens to do is, if you have any information that would help us out, to please call our homicide tip line, and that number is 512-472-TIPS, T-I-P-S. There is also up to $1,000 in reward money from Crime Stoppers. So if you have information and you want to remain anonymous, please call our Crime Stoppers with the information as well.
Sergeant, how were they killed?
That is something that we're not going to disclose at this time for obvious reasons, for investigative purposes. We will release that information once we conclude with the case.
Why do you believe they were in the tent? Homeless, or what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so both persons had family members that lived here in the Austin area, but these two individuals chose to live in a tent in the woods.
And we understand, there were two other homicides in Austin that were homeless people that have not been solved. Is there any concern that there could be a serial homeless killer on the loose?
I wouldn't say that we are concerned about a serial homeless killer, but I will say that due to the number of homeless people we have in the Austin area, we are going to see a percentage of murder victims being homeless, as well as non-homeless people.
And these are murders number 25 and 26 of the year. A number of Austin's homicides have remained unsolved. Do you believe that that has anything to do with the backup in DNA cases related to the DNA lab being closed?
So I don't want to say that the unsolved cases are because of the DNA backup, but I will say that the backup is slowing our effectiveness down. As we submit evidence for DNA testing, we have to wait for that DNA testing to come back to us.
And what can you say then to the public who says, we've got all these cases backed up, there are potentially killers on the loose? I mean, how do you allay those fears?
My message to the public would be to remain patient, understand that we have a job to do, understand that no one is happy or no one likes having DNA evidence backed up, but we are working on that right now. The city is aware of the problems, that we are working to fix that issue.
Is this a known area for homeless, or is this unique to this area, or could you give us a little bit about the surrounding? You said they're found in a tent, and so these people obviously knew they were back there, but was it not accessible? Did they not go check on them, or?
So again, the two people found in the tent have family members that live here in the central Austin, the central Texas area. They hadn't been heard from in a while, so that's why family members went to check on these people. They're the ones who discovered the bodies. So all throughout the Austin area, we do have transient camps. We have homeless camps. This does not look to be a camp that is saturated with homeless persons. This seemed to be a secluded area with this campsite alone.
Do we know if the two people were killed, did they have any criminal past or anything that you guys could connect this to?
So I can't speak on their criminal history, but we do have involvement with the two persons.
Was there any sign of drugs or alcohol on the scene that may have played a part in this?
It's a transient, it's a homeless camp, so we did find alcohol bottles, but at this time we don't believe alcohol played anything, had anything to do with the murders.
Since we have had murders before in Austin in these kind of remote locations in the woods involving homeless people, are these difficult to solve since they're out of the public eye and not getting very many tips because it happened in the woods?
Obviously, public tips make our job easier. So whenever we do generate tips, whenever tips do come in, it does make it easier for us, and we do move a little faster with those tips. Since transients seem to be unknown to most people and they are in secluded areas and these tips may not come in as quickly as we would like, it'll slow us down, but we'll get there.
This seems to
Is
be a
it
new
okay to
bit-
assume that they had been there a while? Because you talked about they didn't find evidence until the next day, so.
We believe they had been there for a period of several days. We don't know exactly how long. We're working on that timeline now, but at least a couple of days.
Are there other homeless in the area or is it that secluded where you don't have that many witnesses?
Correct. That's
But
right.
Do you believe that they might have been deceased for quite a while before they were discovered?
At least a couple of days, yes. And to answer your question, we have been interviewing other transients in the area. Other homeless people have come forth and are willing to talk to us. So yes, we are interviewing whoever's out there.
Are these murders possibly connected to the Del Valley murders?
So the Del Valley murders happened in a different jurisdiction. I don't know the specifics of their case, so I can't answer that.
Was this private property where it happened, the wooded area?
I don't believe it's private property. I can't be certain of that, but the way it looks to me, it doesn't look like it's private property.
Last question. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.